What's up, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. I'm happy to have you all out there. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to maybe learn something or better yourself or the situation. Let's see. Please do trust your own intuition above all else. Trust that you will be able to separate what is meant for you and what is not, because this is a general reading. Trust your own intuition because you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right. That being said, let's set the intention now to get my Libra gang out there. Some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right. 2 more cards. Happy eclipse season, guys. I hope you're doing okay. It's been a bumpy ride, hasn't it? All right, so center of your spread, you have the 8 of Cups. This is typically the card of walking away. It is ultimately a card of following your intuition as well, right? There's always a big old moon in the 8 of Cups. The moon is very much connected to our emotions and our sort of internal feelings, as well as our intuitions guiding us. So in the past, you have judgment. So that's indicating that you already had to circle back to something and revisit it. Now, this may have to do with eclipse season, but this may also likely have to do with the Mercury retrograde that we're in. Especially for you Libras, you know, in the sign of Aries, it likely has to do with some sort of partnership in your life, whether it's romantic or business, etc. Judgment indicates going back to the past in order to get some sort of clarity or closure or come to some sort of conclusion or to maybe tie up loose ends so that you can move on. Now you have that card in addition to the moving on. So some of you may have revisited a connection and decided once and for all that that it might be time to walk away or pursue something else. Or if that's not the case, it's almost like we have to abandon the way we've done it up until now because it's no longer working. Or we've reached a point because there's Saturn energy involved here with, with the 8 of Cups. It's like we're starting to feel the pressure in a relationship where it is forcing us to grow up and be responsible. And we have to remember it's a two-way street. So if you've been in some sort of honeymoon type phase of a relationship where it's been all fun and games, this is indicating, well, it's not anymore. It's not to say that you can't still have fun and enjoy the relationship in some capacity, but it's getting more serious and it's requiring more work from you. Now, it's a two-way street because there's another energy involved here. And so I think for a lot of you, you're reaching out to your person to see if there's a mutual desire to improve the situation and to put equal amounts of work in to get new results, right? To achieve some sort of success. But what's interesting is this card says abandon success. So in your goal position, you have the King of Pentacles. So this is a Taurian energy, a card of Taurus. It's a good work card. So I think you may be leaving to do work elsewhere or to put more time and investment into things that you see as having more a chance of achievement or progress. Some of you may quite literally be headed towards a Taurus or putting more time and energy into your bank account or into your, funding your projects. This is sometimes my husband card too, or such, sort of the idea of like your long-term romantic mate that you live with and essentially like raise a family with. So I mean, you are headed towards that. So depending on who you're with currently, if this is romantic, maybe that's good for some of you. Like maybe the goal is to get this person to kind of show up in a more mature and responsible way. But let's dive deeper into these energies. So what are you thinking? You're thinking a lot, but not necessarily communicating a lot. This is the Page of Swords. The more I see the Page of Swords, yes, it's a sword, but a lot of time it's about plotting and planning and thinking and doing the research. But I don't necessarily see it as a strong communication card because there's something still naive and maturing about it. And I don't mean that as in a condescending way, but it's like you're still trying to get kind of a pulse on this and sort of, it's like have the conversations, but ultimately to do the fact finding to make some sort of ultimate decision. To me, it's like you don't have total clarity on how you want to move forward, like a firm decision hasn't been made yet. So this 8 of Cups may not actually have transpired yet. It might just kind of be energy that is maybe, in your orbit, so to say. Like it's one option, perhaps, or one thing you're contemplating. What you're feeling, interesting. So this is a Libra card. I think you are trying to tap into your emotions and honor and trust your gut instincts. And again, as we said earlier, your intuitions. Typically, I would say that that's a card of being closed off emotionally. However, because it's a Libra card, and here it does say the word peace, I do think you're trying to find peaceful resolution to some sort of conflict where, again, you're being asked to step up in a new way. Something has become challenging in a way that it wasn't before. For a lot of you, it either has to do with a work situation or maybe like someone you view as either husband material or, it could be wife material too. Typically it's my husband card, but whatever. Same-sex couples included, of course. But someone you see as like wanting to build a future with, okay? I actually think that's a good way of phrasing it because that could kind of include sort of like the work dynamics too if this has to do more with a career path. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think you're necessarily opening up emotionally full on. You might be giving indicators or small messages that you are seeking some sort of resolution or wanting to have conversations of progress. But yeah, with the Two of Swords, it's like you're trying to figure out how you feel about something first before you can even really know what you want or ask for what you want, if that makes sense. It's not a card of turbulent emotion, but it is sort of an introverted energy of, again, needing to get a pulse on where you're at with something before you decide to go external with that energy and communicate your wants and needs and desires. Now, some of you already have a little bit with Judgment. You've already had to revisit something like a conversation. But even if that's the case, it's like the information that you acquired opened another door for you to consider walking down, or it revealed new information, this Judgment card, that it's taking time for you to process what you've heard or the information you're receiving, the conversations you're having, the reaction you got from another energy. You're kind of like, okay, now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this information. So the immediate help available to you that is essentially supporting the Saturn energy of the emotions. Like the Eight of Cups is like the walking away card. But for some of you, if it's not walking away, it may also have to do with cutting your losses. Or again, understanding that some sort of challenge is now impeding our ability to fully celebrate what's going on. So if it's not abandoned ship, it's that we have to roll up our sleeves and put effort into something in a new way. Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting because you have the card of strife, the Five of Wands. That's essentially what's helping you, though, which is really interesting. Because typically that's a card of war and fighting or arguments or zesty energy. And I mean, sometimes it can be passionate. Sometimes it can be like playful competition. So, I'll mention that in case those kind of key phrases apply to some of you here. But if our goal is to get to the King of Pentacles, I mean, I do like that. You have the Four of Wands, an excellent card of solid foundations and marriage material. I don't know, maybe this does have to do with sort of like the eclipse stuff going on of fighting for what you love, or when challenge shows up, again, not running from fear. Or for some of you, maybe it's easier to run if things get too real or too serious. I don't typically associate that with Libra energy, but everybody's wildly different out there too. And I mean, maybe this is a cross-watcher reading, but maybe instead of abandoning ship, if that's been your MO in the past, when things get hard, again, this doesn't feel very Libra to me, but it is wanting to come out, so I'm just going to finish my thought here, but please don't take offense if it's not your story. The idea of like, it's just easier to leave rather than deal with the chaos and the mess, because it requires extra work and extra effort. And okay, here's where I'm going to connect the dots there. Again, that's not typically a character flaw, if you will, that I associate with Libra. However, I am just going to put it out there that Venus is a planet that we typically love, right? Because it's the planet of love. It's the planet of luxury, but it's the planet of money. It's the planet of comfort, like different qualities. In a lower vibration, though, Venus can make us a little bit lazy. So in some ways, it could be that if you've been in a relationship, it's almost like there could be a complacent energy where in order to get our passion back, maybe this is representing like sexual energy and passion and, feeling madly in love with someone, right? In order to get that back, it's going to require us to show up in the relationship in a new way and to put in the work and the effort. Maybe this is marriage counseling, right? With that strife card, like the fighting, but maybe it's, maybe in some ways it's fighting with your partner, but maybe it's fighting to save the relationship or fighting for what you love. Because ultimately, like the help available to you is moving through strife into the Four of Wands, which again is, I think for you with Judgment, it's reestablishing a solid foundation with the person that you want to build a life with. And it's funny, I almost said build a life around, and I'm glad I didn't because I don't agree with that phrasing, like we build our life around us, right? First and foremost, right? Of course, it's complicated as you build a family, but it's like you can't put another person up on a pedestal and abandon yourself in the process. And I'm wondering if that's why this abandonment card emotionally is coming through, is where have you given all or fed your relationships around you and left nothing for yourself? Like, is there joy and fulfillment in your own life? Is there joy and fulfillment in doing things independently and on your own, even if you are in a relationship? For some of you, you're like, yes, absolutely. In fact, like, I don't feel alive anymore when I'm with my partner. It's like we're in like a situationship, like we used to be madly, passionately in love, and now we've both kind of withdrawn. So for some of you, there could be liberation in order to, I suppose, leave a long-term relationship that has no passion and life left to it. Others of you, you're going to see it as an opportunity to, again, reinvigorate this and breathe new life back into it, which you can absolutely do. To be honest, like, I don't see this in one extreme or the other than we have to recognize what the problem is and really, like, show up in a different way. That's sort of your biggest message here. But for a lot of you, it's not necessarily completely abandoned ship. I mean, if that's your message, you're going to know it, right? That's not going to be a shock because you've been thinking about it for possibly months now or years. The action or advice card, something that you're not doing that you could be doing, you actually have the Ten of Pentacles. So focusing on money issues that have been presented as challenges to you. It could be meeting with some sort of financial advisor. I've been saying that to a lot of people recently. For some reason that wants to come up. I mean, maybe because it's the end of tax season. I don't know, but something about financial assets or resources or allocating funds in a new way, learning more about your money and your spending habits, allocating new sums of money for different areas in your life. That's coming through for some of you. Others of you, I think it almost has, because the card says wealth, it almost has to do with looking at how rich your life truly is. And really, I mean, I think it comes down to gratitude and appreciating the small moments, right? And there's almost something bittersweet about that message, because it's like, I almost think there's a looking back on how nice things used to be, but specifically how they used to feel. It's like when you guys first got together, if this is romantic, it felt like, it was, the world was your oyster. It was full of possibility. There was like a richness to the life you guys were living. It was fun. It was passionate. It was like intellectually stimulating. There was love there. There was, good sex. There was whatever. Like, you guys were passionate about this. But somehow maybe money situations got involved that complicated it. Maybe somebody went after their dream job and it completely removed their ability to show up in a relationship consistently. Like maybe times got tough. Maybe the financial strain really took a beating on this relationship or took its toll on the people involved here. In which case, maybe you are having to have important decisions and conversations about money. I mean, especially with the King of Pentacles, again, earthly things, your property, your land, your taxes, your money, your job, your health, your body, your self-worth. Those are all like earthy type things. There needs to be some sort of action taken on those sort of topics, if you will. It's showing up next to the Page of Swords. So again, rethinking or restructuring how you go about doing those things, for lack of a better phrasing, right? But yeah, with Page of Swords, it's very much like we still haven't come to the solution yet. But for those of you who you're showing up to this reading and you're wanting advice or guidance on your relationship, how is money playing a role in that? And is it helping or hindering? And I know that's a very broad question, but I mean, if the action you're being asked to take is 10 of Pentacles, that's an excellent money card, but are you in good financial standing? Because if it's not, that's going to help you guys in some capacity. Yeah, there could be a lot of stress around money and it's taking its toll on the relationship. Or kids, children, you know, maybe you're getting slapped with like medical bills because someone's going through something, you know, it could be something like that, whatever. Others of you, it's an excellent card of family too. So like the husband, the wife, the kids, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, all those things. There could be some sort of solution via family or family counseling. And the Knight of Cups. Yeah, for some of you, there is like a really beautiful energy here of wanting to start a family. The Knight of Cups is an excellent card in terms of like forward movements and offers in love. And because Judgment is coming up, again, Page of Swords, Eight of Cups, this very much feels like revisiting something. And what's really interesting is I usually associate this card with, I mean, yes, the water signs, but any sign really, but specifically Pisces. It's mutable water. And what's interesting here is you have a crab on yours. So it's like there might be something to do with a Cancer. Or there might be something to do with the mother involved here. That's really interesting. When I said it out loud, that had a whole different connotation. So you'll know if that's your message, because it triggered something interesting. Yeah. And maybe it's just really, I don't know if this is going to help or frustrate you, but really thinking like, is this the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? You know, if for those who want to have kids, is this the person that I want to raise a family with? I think you're asking the deeper questions. And again, I wish I could give you an absolute, but that's not what tarot is about. Because I mean, again, this is a general message, so it's not going to resonate for some of you out there. Others of you, it's going to resonate in different ways. Some of you are having that awakening, that dawning of like, wow, I've been putting all my energy into something and doing all the work, and my partner isn't meeting me halfway. And after some conversations on expressing my truth about how I need them to show up for me, they're still not doing it. Some of you are having that awakening of like, well, this isn't my person. And I'm finally starting to see with clarity, I have other people in my life who treat me so much better. So I think some of you, it's, you know, Pisces energy. It's like, there's more fish in the sea. Like I have been sacrificing my own wishes and dreams and happiness in order to make it work with a person who's very closed off. That's some of you. Others of you, again, it's just you're not in the honeymoon stage of this relationship. It's not as fun and passionate as it used to be because life gets complicated, right? And that's just a simple truth, right? That being said, I think you're showing up, you're wanting to show up to this and breathing new life into it in order to reestablish sort of the happy family dynamic that you at least saw potential in the past, or again to revisit it and sort of reestablish that harmony, but also that fun and that solidarity and like, yeah, you're my person and I'm very certain of it. Some of you, it's like you're having second thoughts or doubts or questioning that. Have faith. It's not always easy to have faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. Yet still you must do exactly that. Because when you have faith, your life will begin to flow in magical ways that you never imagined were possible. All right, Libra, that's what I got for you this week. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Sending you all the best. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I invite you to do so. Please hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post readings in the future. If you want more content from me, I am on Instagram and Facebook. And that's about it. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I will see you soon for more tarot.